right out the gate. Mike Wilson, if you're in the room, you a tough one.
My table.
Mike came to the table?
Mike came to the
He's
table.
not still at the table, is he? He's waiting for you to come back. Okay, so his question, it's personal. What is your favorite pizza topping? That's what I'm saying. It's personal here.
Don't lose your card. Don't lose your card.
You're tapping into my foodie side.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a classic pepperoni guy.
Okay. Can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong with that. However.
Thin crust preferred.
Okay.
East Coast style.
Okay. You want the flop.
I do love a woman who can enjoy a good anchovy.
Yeah. Salty. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I like it. Let's see. This is deep. A different mic. Peel, I believe is how you say this last name.
So there were multiple mics.
There's a lot of mics. Okay, we got mics up here. There's mics up there. You have such a wide and diverse range as an actor, which is true. What is a dream role or project you'd have loved to have done that you feel could have incorporated all of your abilities into it?
Oh, wow. I think the good news for me is age for age, I was as young as I was.
Yeah.
So typically in show business, they'll hire people that are a lot older than you realize to play parts that are younger.
Right.
Because they can work, especially adults, past 18 for longer hours. But I was as old as I was.
Right.
So I started acting at age 3, and I did probably about 50 or 60 national commercials. A lot of them you can find on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
Got popped up. I did the show from age 12 to 21. Wow. Then I probably had about 10 years where I only just popped up in dramas everywhere. Bones, Boston Legal. I think it's so funny because William Shatner's here and he's walked past me several times and I'm just like,
I love that.
no, science. I gotta throw him under the bus a little bit. Actually, it's really funny. I got a funny William Shatner story. I booked Boston Legal, and I was supposed to play like a hotshot lawyer.
Yeah.
And turn that off. I'm supposed to play a hotshot lawyer that's getting recruited by the firm, and he says something inappropriate. Denny Crane says something inappropriate to him.
As Denny Crane does.
All right, and so typically they bring in all the guest cast first, and then they bring in the star last into the scene. So they bring him in, and we start rehearsing. You're gonna do about 2 or 3 rehearsals before they say camera up, and then you're actually gonna put it on film. So we started rehearsing, and Bill, he grabbed my cheek. In the scene, he says, "You're gonna make a fine attorney," and then you grab my cheek. So typically in show business, if this is so hilarious to be able to tell this story, and he's in the other room. That's the best part about it. Because I'm not offended. It's just funny. I can't like for you guys to see showbiz dynamics. Typically, if you're gonna touch another actor though with a move that you want to do, you want to ask them. But he's kind of like Denny Crane. So he grabbed my cheek, and we did it twice. And we did it 3 times, and I was being patient because I was waiting for the director or anybody else to maybe say something like, "We're not camera up yet, so how far is this gonna go?" So finally, the director, John, smooth guy, he says right before camera up, he says, "Bill, the cheek thing, we don't need it." And he tries to skedaddle off, and Bill says, "Hold on one second, what do you mean?" And I could see the camera guys kind of step back and look, and Candace Bergen was in the scene too, and she said, "Wait a minute," she looks down, I was like, oh, okay, a lot of stuff gets questioned on this. And they had a very lengthy debate about the appropriateness of pinching my cheek.
But not with you.
And I don't get considered in
Okay.
the conversation at all. So this goes on for like about 5 to 10 minutes. And I mean, it gets pretty deep about actor motivation and why he would do this. And so finally, at just a last ditch, he turns to me, Bill, and he says, "Well, how do you feel about it?" I'm really getting a lesson about what it is to be on somebody else's set now, and they're the star of the show. It's like, wow. And I'm like, I said, I don't think it's necessary, but I'm not offended. So I was trying to be political myself.
Right.
So he said, well, if you don't like it, then I won't do it. But then he turned to the director, John, and I'm throwing him all the way over the bus, and he says, but I think this decision is wrong. And I think you've been wrong a lot this week, and I don't see you coming back. So wait, it gets better. It gets better. So then, and he's not going to remember any of this. So if he's got to be like, huh? What? Who? I didn't say that. All right, and so we get into actually putting it on film, and energy generally gets raised a little bit more now. Now we're on film. You get to see different colors coming from different actors. They're like, oh, okay, that was your sneaky move. It was like, okay. And so I did kind of a deadpan look off of something that he said. And then now he looks at me and Bill looks at me and goes, you know what? You're pretty good. He said, do you know what you just did right there? And I was just like, I said, no, what did I just do? He says, there was an actor named Jack Benny. It was before your time. And you just gave a real Jack Benny look there. He says, if you keep this up, I think you're gonna go someplace. This is true story. I am not making this up. And like one of the camera guys literally does that move where he looked around. Did Captain Kirk just tell Steve Urkel he's going? It's our secret. Don't let this out of the room.
So you're nicer than me, because I would have came back with a Steve Urkel doll and just left it for him. Like, that's me, man. What are you doing? That's hilarious.
It was funny you're not saying anything in return.
That's true. Okay, so Peter Sleep, I'm going to modify Peter's question just a little bit, because he's asking about playing hoops, and I want to know specifically, what was your best game in basketball?
That I played?
That you played.
I was really, really close with Penny Hardaway. Played for the Orlando Magic.
Big shout out to
Phoenix Suns.
Anthony, if you
Anthony
know.
Hardaway. And I would go visit Penny at his homes in Florida and in Memphis. But when we played in Memphis, we would play at the field house at Memphis University. And, the size would just go up. The guys would be 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", 6'8". And they would play by 1s and 2s to 11. So if somebody scored on you twice, somebody would already call a switch because you're getting torched.
Right.
That's
what it is. You don't have to
if
put so
somebody
many
hit 2
points.
threes on you, that's technically 4 points to
Right.
to 11. And I learned something about myself then also. Like when I would play with really, really amazing athletes like this. I remember I threw 3 lobs in that game because I was just subbing. I mean, I could throw it anywhere. And it was like, these guys were 6'7", they were flying. It was like, you felt like you were some type of action movie or something, really. And I'm this little dude, but I can dribble. That's probably the most exciting single game that I was in because I was so overmatched size-wise. On a celebrity tip, Michael Jordan filmed Space Jam on the same lot as Family Matters in 1995. And so that was probably the greatest summer of my life.
Wow.
I think everything I'm doing summer-wise is just chasing the
Chasing that
magic
feeling right there?
of that summer because I would get off of work and I would take the golf cart or whatever over to they built a dome for him on Warner Brothers lot. That was like a Cirque du Soleil's type dome. They rented out the Long Beach State basketball court, and so many famous people were just pouring through there. You saw everyone. You walk into the dome, and Clint Eastwood is standing over here, and Dean Cain is standing over here, and it was just everyone. And Mike would be playing games, and so all of the NBA players began to descend on Warner Brothers lots. Juwan Howard and Grant Hill, and these were the names at the time, Reggie Miller. And so watching those games all summer long, not knowing who you would see, It just was pretty awesome. And I remember one night, Dr. J was doing a guest spot on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. And then Mark Curry sent word to my set, because we were shooting on the same night, that they had gotten the gym, they got him to open up Michael's gym for us.
Wow.
After we were done taping. So I couldn't wait to be done taping because I was gonna go over now to the Dome and play 3-on-3 at midnight with
Dr. J?
Dr. J and Mark Curry. And I even threw Dr. J a lob and he dunked on Mark Curry. So it was like,
That's the greatest story of all time.
so it was like, we just don't have all of these camera phones like we had back then. And these were obvious selfies back then.
Of course.
But, you know, we were too, which I love saying, we were too in the moment.
That's a good thing.
I didn't even think to get a photo
Right.
of it. I mean, I had met Dr. J before several times, but now I got a chance to play with him. And at midnight, you know, order some pizzas. Hey,
Right.
send him to the gate. Hey, you know.
Better than a photo, you have that memory, and that will last so much longer.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that. I love that. Wow. What position did you play on the court?
Point guard. I played point guard.
Of course you did, because you do have those handles. I've seen that episode. Okay, so let's see. We've got this whole list here. I gotta make sure I ask the right